Mitt the Michigan Mouse, Chapter 23, Orrin. Before I start reading, though, I want to give you an idea of where Mitt is on our Michigan map. So he caught the ghost ship right near Muskegon, which is here, and took it all the way up to Nobbin Way, which is up here in the UP now. And this is where he met up with Fisk, the fisher, and now he is encountering a bald eagle named Orrin. Chapter 23, Orrin. The bald eagle was Orrin, and he had Mitt firmly in his thick yellow talons. Mitt looked down. That was the last he saw of his friend Fisk. Orrin was not kind, and his intentions were not good. He had hold of Mitt's shoulders, and his talons pinched at his soft, round underbelly. Orrin kept gliding in circles, each time moving lower and lower toward the pine tree where his gigantic nest was waiting. Mitt thought it was the end. He closed his eyes so tight that he didn't even see the pair of Canada geese arrive. They each flew at the eagle, striking at it sideways, trying to knock Mitt loose. Who were they, and why were they trying to help him? "We are friends of Thule, and we are here to help you get home," they honked. Orrin grasped Mitt tighter yet, as one goose rammed into his sides once more. The other goose was above the eagle, and Mitt could hear the fripp, fripp, fripp of her wings beating wildly back and forth. And then, bam! The geese rammed Orrin once more, and finally the eagle let go of Mitt. But now Mitt was spinning, turning, tumbling through the air and down to the earth. This was a fall a mouse could never survive. But one goose moved in to grab him, bringing him downward to a thick, settled marsh. She set him down in a bowl-shaped bed that was hard but not made of wood. It wasn't soft, yet it was warm. It was smooth like stone, yet in many places was thick with velvet. Mitt had no idea where he was, but the whistle of wind through the pines and marsh grasses lulled him into sleep as the goose flew away. Chapter 24, Reuben. Whoosh, whoosh. Mitt woke as his bed was being hoisted high into the air. Mitt slid back and forth in the bowl-shaped bed, grasping at the sides, still not knowing what he was sleeping in. "Whoa," said Mitt. But before Mitt could jump out, the animal began a full-speed run down a logging road near the swamp. The way it moved reminded Matt of Digby, the Irish wolfhound, who galloped along like a clumsy pony. And, like Digby, this animal had skinny legs and knobby knees, but it was dark brown and its head was huge with folds of skin that went this way and that around its neck. It reminded Mitt of the elk back at home, only bigger, much bigger. Here's the animal he landed on. When the animal realized it had a guest in its antlers, it stopped. Mitt climbed down and was ready to scamper away when the animal asked, "Who are you?" "I'm Mitt, but the question is not who, but what are you?" "My name is Reuben," said the young bull moose. "I live here." Realizing that the large animal wanted to be friends, Mitt began to tell him of his journey. He told about Fisk and the man, the ghost ship and Thule, and his mitten back home. Reuben sat down to listen, much like the way a dog sits down, paying close attention to every word that Mitt said. Reuben was big, and he had a tender heart to match his size. When Mitt finished speaking, Reuben said, "I don't know where my family is either." "If you don't know where they are," asked Mitt, "how did you get here?" "I have heard," said the moose, "that I came from the family that was dropped from the sky." "Impossible," said Mitt. "Animals are born, they aren't dropped from the sky." And so Reuben told Mitt the story as it was told to him. "Long ago, my great-great-grandfather lived in Canada. He liked it there among giant pines and shining lakes. One day he was snatched by a strange bird. The bird was not made of feathers, but of metal. Its wings were not at its side, but were on its top. It was very loud, and it carried him high into the sky. This bird brought him to Michigan and dropped him not far from where we stand right now. Great-great-grandfather was here for quite some time before the bird came back. When it did, it brought my great-great-grandmother." "But what about your mother?" asked Mitt. "Where is she?" "One day my mother left me all alone. I had a lame foot and I stayed by the marsh to rest, and she never came back. Do you miss her? I do. When I was young, she would teach me how to pull out tender shoots to eat. At night, she would cradle me near her warm chest where I could hear the beat of her heart. It sounded like a fist pounding on a deep, ancient drum. Mitt watched tears well up in the corner of Reuben's large brown eyes, and then the moose said, when she didn't return, I learned a broken foot will work again, but a broken heart will not. Mitt liked Reuben very much. Both had deep hearts and kind ways. Reuben asked Mitt, who was now feeling even more lonesome for his mitten and his home in the woods, do you know how to get me home? No, Mitt, I'm sorry I don't, but I know someone who will. We call her the Tekla, and she lives in the mountains. Reuben lowered his head to Mitt, and the mouse climbed up between his ears. Mitt took hold of the hair between his brows and settled there. It was now mid-February in the Upper Peninsula, and the warmer air had made the snow thick, wet, and hard to walk through. The pair stayed in the forest, traveling west for weeks. The journey to Marquette and the Escanaba River State Forest was slow for Reuben, who needed to eat all the time. He would stop to browse on balsam fir. He would gnaw on shrubs and twigs and tall reeds. Reuben was happy to travel with Mitt and taught him all about how a moose survives in the deep woods. When Reuben's antlers fell off, as antlers will do, Reuben explained to Mitt that it was a part of life and it didn't hurt a bit. All along the way, Reuben told Mitt stories about the Tekla and how he was certain she would help him find his mitten. This was Mitt's last hope. So, he was in Nobbin Way, which is here, and they are heading through the Hiawatha National Forest towards Marquette, which is here. And remember, his house was in Sheboygan, which is here at the tip of the Lower Peninsula.